Hello everyone, welcome to a new class of analog electronics. In today's class, we are going to look at feedback amplifiers. We are looking at feedback amplifiers. And what is a feedback amplifier? A feedback amplifier is one which a fraction of the amplifier output is fed back to the input circuit. And this partial dependence of amplifier output on its input helps to control the output. And generally the feedback circuit consists of two parts. That is an amplifier being the first part and a feedback circuit being the second part. We have got two types of feedback. Number one, so we have positive feedback. And number two, we have negative feedback. Let us start with the first one, the positive feedback. So, positive feedback is also known as regenerative feedback, or you can also call it direct feedback. And what is a positive feedback? In positive feedback, the feedback energy, that is both voltage and current, is in phase with the input signal. And this ends, in other words, becomes an addition to the input signal. So positive feedback increases gain of the amplifier, but also positive feedback has some disadvantages because it increases distortion, noise, and instability of the amplifier. And because of these disadvantages, that is distortion, noise, instability, the positive feedback is seldom employed in audio amplifiers. But it has got some other applications in oscillators, as we shall see later as we proceed with these tutorials. Now, this is the circuit for positive feedback. Here we have got the amplifier circuit. We have, of course, here the output. So we take an output so that we feed it back to the input, and we have seen it is for the purposes of increasing the stability. But now in positive feedback, the amplifier will be unstable. So we have the feedback network here. So for positive feedback, we have seen that the input energy. So this is the input energy. The input signal here. This is the input. Here we have introduction of 180. So this one introduces 180 degrees phase shift. This one will be our output of the introduction of, so it will shift by an angle of 180. And then the feedback network still introduces another 180 degrees phase shift. So introduction of another 180 degrees phase shift will result to this waveform. This one is for the feedback. So this is the feedback voltage, this is the input voltage, and this one here is the output voltage, Vout. Now, you can see that as we said earlier, the input energy is in phase, it is in the same phase with the feedback energy. This is what positive feedback does in amplifiers. Number 2, we have another type of feedback known as negative feedback. So we have negative feedback. Let's look. We have another type of feedback known as negative feedback. So the negative feedback is also known as degenerative feedback or inverse feedback. In negative feedback, the feedback energy, that is voltage or current, is out of phase with the input signal, and thus it opposes it. It opposes the input signal. Negative feedback reduces the gain of the amplifier, but also it reduces distortion, noise, and instability. This type of feedback increases bandwidth and also improves input and output impedances. And due to these advantages, the negative feedback is mostly used in amplifiers. So we have the circuit here for the negative feedback. So here we have the amplifier circuit. Here we have the feedback network. Here we have the input signal here. So this stage here introduces 180 degrees phase shift. This is what we get at the output. And then the feedback network does not introduce another phase shift. It just introduces 0 degrees phase shift. Therefore, the output here, the output energy is the same as the input, is the same as the feedback energy, because it will just introduce a 0 degrees phase shift. So this will be our feedback. So as you can see, this one being our feedback, as you can see, the feedback energy is opposing, or it is out of phase with the input energy. That is generally how negative feedback amplifier behave. So in today's tutorial, we have studied about the feedback in amplifiers, and we have seen that there are two types of feedback. And the one, we have seen that there is positive feedback, where the feedback energy is in phase with the input energy, and you have also seen there's negative feedback, where now the feedback energy is out of phase with the input energy. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.